Last week we talked about the our 5 or 6 pillars of performance. Today we're going to break down that first pillar, which was strength. So when you think of strength, Jack,
Yep.
what does that mean to you as a coach?
Oh, as a coach,
The
ability to move things, whether that's the human body, whether it's an object, whether it's a player, whether it's a bit of kit, the ability to move something. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely something external from, well, even just move yourself.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
But then move that external object, as you say.
Yeah.
And make something or someone do your willing.
Yeah. I wonder if that's where people not go wrong, but people misunderstand strength and they see it as just that heavy stuff. And I wonder if it would be better if people understood it more as just a measure of muscular effort, a measure of expression.
Yeah, I think
movement.
A lot of people sort of tie it in with being as big as you can as well. Like bigger is always stronger.
Yeah.
It's not actually the case. No. I mean, you look at South African wingers, just because the rugby's in my head at the moment, like Chesney Cobley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small. You got Dupont from France.
Yeah.
Tiny but strong athletes.
Yeah.
For size.
People are always blown away by like a really strong athlete. And if you get somebody that is strong pound for pound, that's even more impressive.
Definitely.
Even more impressive.
100%.
Yeah.
So why do we make this our first pillar?
So the reason I'm pausing is because it's a big answer.
Yeah.
And for me, this is a foundational ability of the body. Everything we do, from talking to wiggling your little toe to picking up a pen to back squatting double body weight, is all about muscles creating movement and muscles producing force. The difference in force is relevant to the task. But for me, an athlete will use some amount of force, some amount of their strength every single day, every single movement, every single action on the field. So if an athlete does not have enough strength, it becomes very obvious. But then general public can lack strength, and that can cause other problems in terms of their day-to-day living and their function. So I think for me, strength is a foundational, functional capacity that allows us to do everything, which is why it's a big pillar for me. I got a sneaking suspicion you're going to think the same thing, but
definitely
in the same vein.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can't do anything else if you're not strong.
Yeah, 100%. And like we get battered as S&C coaches, don't we? Because our answer is always, "You're not strong enough," or "Let's go and get strong." And I think we get a little bit tarred with this brush of we just want to make everyone strong, and it's like, yeah, we do, but there's a word missing it. So we want to make everyone strong enough.
Yes.
For what they want to do.
Time back into last week.
Yeah.
It's relative. Performance is relative. Strength, in the same way, is relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you're coaching a variety of different people from sport, the general public. I'm coaching a variety of different youngsters, 16 to 19, and dealing with coaches and stuff. And I know that we see strength in loads of different ways. What's the most impressive thing from a strength, like the most impressive strength feat you've seen recently?
Oof. Probably just people overcoming previous injuries.
Yeah.
That stop them even attempting or even thinking about doing a movement.
Yeah.
It could just be a body weight that they've done, but 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line, they wouldn't even think about trying that.
Yeah.
Just because they put the work in, done a little bit of rehab, and they're now able to do that.
I used to like going through sessions or going through BST or going through circuits or whatever, and watching people pick up the heavier kettlebells, watching people go for the bigger log, watching people like, oh yeah, jump on my sleds, and I'm thinking to myself, you think you're getting fitter, you're actually getting stronger. And like, for me, the last couple of weeks, I've seen some monster squats. Really have. It's 160 for 6, and there was more in the tank. And I've seen lads weighing 70 kilos squatting real good depth, 120. 125. That's not the most impressive thing I've seen. The most impressive thing I've seen is my skinny footballers jumping from height and being able to stick a landing as if it's just nothing. And I just think to myself, how how can you do that? Like, if I did that, my knees would explode. And they're both as equally impressive. And I think that's the reason I asked that question was knowing we would get different answers. And hopefully that highlights to everybody, like, strength is relative and strength appears everywhere. And that's why it's a pillar. Like, we use strength all the time in loads of different ways. Your car doesn't just drive flat out at one speed. It can drive at anywhere from 1 mile an hour to 101 mile an hour, and it can hold those speeds. It can drop in and out. It can change direction at different speeds. We're able to do that with our strength.
So let's dive into more what strength actually means.
Come on in.
So you've got a 16-year-old.
Yep.
Just come straight into college.
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain the importance of strength to them?
Normally, we have these chats. One of the big things I do is I start to try and help them understand where strength is important in their sport, and then we can branch off the back of that. So getting them to explore, yes, your big heavy compounds, right? You've got to learn to hit these big rocks, squat, hinge, press, pull. You've got to be able to do them. But also then start indicating to them that you play a sport on one leg. Can you stand on one leg? Can you move on one leg? Can you get into position on one leg? What if you were able to do that better? What would that knock on? And we start exploring hop, skip, jump, land. This, a lot of the time, it's the sudden movements that make them realize, oh, I can't do that. And I come round then and then we start to talk about, like, what if you had more strength and you could control that joint and you were able to flex a little bit into that position? Do you think it would help you land? Yeah. Okay. Don't jump as far. Just hop and flex into it. How does that feel? Oh yeah, I feel like my muscles. Perfect. You're using strength. All right. Now, if we made you stronger, that'd be easier, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be. Brilliant. Cool. Let's go and get strong. Like, go and put more weight on a bar. Shift it. Let's have a look. And I think that, especially with my cohort, you've got to get them to unveil it and think more about what it is they're doing. Athletes don't like to think, do they?
No.
They like to just do.
No.
They point and shoot. They are.
Especially if they were 1 to 5 in their back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do us a favour, boys. Go and hit them over there. All right, got it. Come on. So what about you then? What do you do? How do you get people to understand the importance of strength?
So I'll just have it, like, bring it back, like you have it, just a genuine conversation with them, and then dive into, like, their day to day. Because I'm working with just regular people.
Yeah.
They've got to just live their lives, do their job.
Yeah.
Spend time with their kids, do stuff for their kids. So I'll find out what is going on with them in their day to day. Have they got any limitations? Stuff that's stopping them from doing, what we would take as just regular movements.
Yeah.
And then see how we can sort of get a plan together.
Yeah.
For them to come back and they can actually do that movement.
Yeah.
Pain-free.
One of the things that hit me when I was working with general public was you never get somebody hurt themselves in the gym. You always get somebody hurting themselves outside the gym. Picking the kids out of the car seat was like, I can't tell you how many times mum or dad had come in saying, I can't do that today, my back's gone. Pick the kids up out the bath or pick the kids out of the car and we slipped. I just think to myself, imagine your body had the capacity to absorb that force. Imagine your body had the capacity to be off center, off balance, out of position, and still hold and still control forces. How's that any different to having to running down the touchline, ball in hand, and getting a slight nudge off center and staying in touch, staying in bounds, and continuing your run? It's not, is it? One is arguably more instantly impressive, but I would guarantee that if you spoke to most adults and you said you slip out the shower and you put your back out, or you slip out the shower and you go, that was interesting, and you walk away, which would you rather? Definitely the second one. I'll tell you what then, it's not the end, it starts with getting strong. And I think that every time I keep coming back to it, it just makes me realize that, like, how important being strong enough really is.
Yeah.
And we know from injuries over the years.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned it there, like slips out the shower or the bath or whatever.
Yeah.
It's getting strong in different positions as well, because that's where we'll touch on it with a whole episode on injuries prevention, and I'm sure. But those injuries are going to occur when our body's not or gets itself into a position that it's not used to, or so
Yeah.
it's not strong enough to deal with the loads that you intentionally or unintentionally put on it.
So all we do when we're training athletes, can you get into and out of positions quickly, well, under control? Can a forward get into a scrum position very well? Are they able to hold that scrum position very well? And can they get out of it lightning fast to be able to hit the first person they see? Yes, they're probably going to be pretty good at their job. And that all starts with the ability to be strong enough to find and hold positions, even when you're being told by an external force or by a problem to go into a different position. And I think that people could really benefit from just digging in to strength. I got a sneaking suspicion I'm going to say that phrase every episode. I've said it twice.
It's on your mind.
Yeah.
All right, nice. So, what do we think is the biggest misconception athletes have about strength training? I've got mine. You can go first.
Is yours? Yeah, okay. So mine is probably that they don't need to get really strong, and that they think that no, maybe not, because a lot of athletes do understand eventually, and they don't know. Biggest misconception, I think, is what people think strength actually is. They see strength as being really big, heavy, and slow. And I really wish people would understand, especially younger athletes, that strength is a continuum, and it borders on one end power, so that explosiveness, and power is a separate entity, but strength walks you right up to it. And then on the other end of that continuum is that big, heavy, slow stuff. But when we talk about getting strong, we don't always just mean the big, heavy, slow stuff. Sometimes we mean picking up a barbell like pretty quickly. Still a hell of a lot of load on it. Still might be double body weight, but we're trying to shift that relatively well. And I think that people just see strength as being singular and in one place. And I would like people to understand that it is a broader continuum than they first think. What about you?
Now it's going to look like I've just stole your answer.
Well, no, I think they're connected, aren't they?
Yeah. I was going to say, like, people would think that strength training is just getting as big as you can, like bodybuilder sort of esque, or like strongman.
Yeah.
You know, and then being stupid size.
Yeah.
And being big and putting on as much mass as you can.
Yeah.
And then that's going to slow you down on field.
Yeah.
You know, in actual fact, it's not done right.
Yeah. I'm really glad you said that, because you look at some of the biggest athletes or the most muscular athletes, they're pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
Like, I love the NFL. Derrick Henry's not slow. DK Metcalf, they're both 6'3", 110 kilos.
Units.
They are units, and they have ridiculous vertical jumps, ridiculous top speeds. Don't get me wrong, they're not whippets like your Louis Rees-Zammit or anything, but they are athletes, and they are definitely people who can express their strength in a variety of different ways. Like Derrick Henry, for example, he can hand you off and send you into next week, but he's doing it at 30 mile an hour or whatever it is, 24 mile an hour, or 22 mile an hour, whatever he hits. But they're both force expression. And I think off the back of yours, people really do assume that strength training will make them slow. And it can. It absolutely can. Yeah.
And I think that's much more prominent with footballers, more than rugby, because rugby, you need a bit of size anyway for the contact of the sport. But yeah, definitely football.
Yes. I'm going to put this politically.
Okay.
Footballers like being lighter and slighter because it allows them to be mobile on field, and they will fight back against adding some extra mass because of that misconception that strength training and muscle building are the same thing. Like you said, gaining muscle doesn't instantly make you stronger.
No.
I mean, if you do the two, work side by side, they are connected. But footballers particularly will shy away from strength training because it's easier for them to be faster and fitter, because that's who they are. However, we've had great results from footballers particularly adding 10 or 15% worth of strength and it will eventually make them faster. It makes them more resilient on field. They get injured less, and they are faster eventually. It takes a lot of work, and again, I think that's maybe why strength training is viewed negatively sometimes. It is hard.
Yeah, especially with our modern sort of culture. You know, TikTok, great example. Everybody has this short attention span.
Yeah.
You know, instant gratification, instant sort of buzz.
Yeah.
And strength training just isn't it.
Yeah.
It's not that, I'm afraid.
I don't know if we're segueing too far or if this is going to get me up a creek. But when you go to a circuit class, and it's labeled strength, it's not strength. Okay? You cannot have a fast, repetitive, exhausting, fatiguing strength. You can't do an EMOM for strength. You're building some resistance and you might get better at lifting some load. But if you want to get strong, you can't do it when you're knackered.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I'm just going to put that out there. It's a bugbear of mine. 21, 15, 9, 7 barbell cleans is not strength.
I feel like you've been triggered this week.
Yeah, really. I've just seen a lot this week and it's really bothered me. I've seen it for years and I've always tried to pass the message on.
Yeah.
That is a circuit style. That is a muscular endurance style workout.
Absolutely.
That utilizes your strength, and it does fit with what we're talking about. It utilizes your strength. It's not necessarily going to make you any stronger unless you're one of these lucky people that can sneeze and get stronger. If you want to get stronger, stick to the basics. Stick to the known methods of strength training, which we'll talk about, I think.
Yes, we'll definitely move on to that. Just a quick one though. Do you think confidence will grow with strength?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, like you see it in athletes all the time, okay? And rugby is the key example. You get stronger through your training, you hit a tackle, it doesn't hurt. Or you end somebody and you go, ooh, I'm good. You take 4 bags from the car, every man knows about this, 4 bags of shopping from the car to the house in one trip, and it feels okay. You go, I'm doing all right here. You climb the stairs without pain after doing some training, and it makes you feel better. Like strength training is a huge confidence builder. Like, and you know more, probably more about this than I do, or I probably have greater insight on this than I do, but I see athletes get strong and they're, you know, Billy Big Balls walking around them because they know they're strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something buzz about them.
Yeah. It does develop confidence. It gives you the psychological known thought that you can do something.
Especially coming back from injury as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge.
Like watching some of our injured lads with like hamstrings and stuff now, and they're able to do movements they couldn't before, or they're able to pick up a barbell they couldn't before. And the confidence starts to come back, the light starts to come back, and they can see game time coming. That gives them confidence. And watching them come back from injury and knowing that they're lifting more than they were before injury, that's even better. That watching them suddenly realize how good they are now is even better than it was before. And somebody's of a decent size, they're probably pretty confident. And I mean, again, size doesn't equal strength, but you've had to lift some weight to get there, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Size doesn't always matter.
Nope.
Right, moving on then. Looking at how we're going to build that strength that we've talked about. When you first start with an athlete, and then I'll come in with Joe Public.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you're going to look for?
In terms of like before they've lifted anything?
Yes, when they first come to you.
Movement efficiency, movement competency. Can they get in and out of position as well?
Yeah.
The main reason being, it'll give us an indication of what we can do. So if an athlete can't get past 90 on a squat, then I know that as we load that up, that depth is probably going to get shallower. So we need to find other ways to load that pattern. Typically, we try to assess at the college or with our athletes, we try to assess, can they get into the positions that they need and that we would like to load? So can they tick the basics, particularly the youngsters? Can they squat well? Can they hinge well? Can they hold their own body weight, core bracing? Can they press well? Can they pull well? Vertical, horizontal. Can they do the basics?
Yeah.
Can they control their body? So we do a lot of jumping and landing. And yes, it's important for learning those positions and controlling joints on field, off field. But it also tells me a lot about what the athlete can do from a force expression, strength expression. Following that, then once we've got an idea of what they can do, what happens when we load those patterns and what happens when we load those positions? Some people are pretty good and without load, but what happens when we start to gradually load those positions?
Yeah.
Do
Does
they
that
crumble?
technique break down?
100%. Now, with our athletes, it's rare. It does happen, obviously, in certain positions, and everyone's got a position or a pattern that they'll crumble in. But with athletes, it's rare because they've experienced movement quite a lot. I don't know about you in general public, though. Do you find that there's a lot of people making real competencies and positions start to crumble a bit more when there's a bit more load, or do people seem better these days? Do you think people care more about their strength and their training?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when they first come to us, 1 or 2 sessions, it's tough to sort of for them to get that movement down because they might have not done it for years.
Yeah.
And they haven't built up that strength through that movement.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I always just in the warm up, I'll chuck in like a squat hinge, some sort of press, pull if I can, variants, so I can monitor how they're moving, and then assess without them even knowing. Yeah, and they think they're just warming up.
It's the beauty of a warm up. So you get a lot, don't you?
But yeah, we always start with that technique and focus on form, movement control. Then we add a load, see if it breaks down.
Yeah.
If it starts to go, then we regress it back, do some more work.
Yeah.
And then come back to it, and then just it's that constant progression.
I like that pattern, that style, that approach, because if you think about it, we're assessing strength straight away. If somebody crumbles under body weight, they don't have a lot of strength in those patterns, those positions, even at body weight. If they can do it body weight, right, cool, you've got a bare level of strength. Add a little bit low, does that change? Cool, your strength is pretty low. Most of us should be able to hold patterns under stress. You think about athletes, they're under stress all the time trying to hold these patterns.
Yeah.
So if they can't hold them with a barbell in their hands, they're not going to be able to hold them when they get hit by another athlete.
Okay, Jack, I'll ask you this. If you could only teach 3 lifts, which ones would they be and why?
Oh, my word. God, there's so many.
Because you've got 5 big sort of movement patterns.
Yeah.
And you can't hit all of those.
So lifts now, yeah?
Yep. 3 exercises.
Oh, Jesus
3 lifts.
Christ, that's hard. Right, squat. A big heavy hinge. And maybe a little bit left field. Probably not what you were thinking I was going to say. But a pull-up.
Okay. Heavy hinge. Heavy hinge.
Yeah.
Give me an exercise.
I'm biased towards an RDL. The reason being I can do it. And I can do it pretty well.
Yeah.
But for me, the RDL has large posterior chain, obviously, hamstrings, glutes, but also the lower back stability, mid back and upper back stability required to keep that bar and protect your spine.
Yeah.
From an athletic standpoint, transfers across to many different positions and many different actions and requirements on field. And also, it's relatively simple once you've mastered the hinge to progress in that big RDL. As long as you can hinge well and you've got a good core brace, you can progress a hinge really well. And obviously, you can go on a single leg hinge in bits and pieces then if you wanted to. But I feel like you get a lot for your money, your bang for buck with a big hinge. So. Yeah.
Before I give you mine, I question you on why you picked RDL. Because that'd be probably one of the most technical sort of movements you get, that hinge. Would you not pick an easier movement?
Yeah, I think you're right. So once you've mastered a hinge, it's easy to progress. Yeah. It's like that skiing versus snowboarding, isn't it? One's easy to pick up, hard to get good at. One's easy to pick up. No? Yeah, you know what I mean. One's easy to pick up and hard to get good at, where the RDL is hard to pick up, easy to get good at. Because it's quite demanding for people to learn to separate the hips from the back. I picked RDL for the large load-bearing brace demand on the hips and back. I didn't pick another hinging pattern because a lot of them come off the floor and require leg drive. Well, I'm getting that from my squat.
Yeah.
So for me, being able to big heavy squat, big heavy RDL, and then pull up covers enough musculature to create a strong system from fingertips to toes. Obviously, I would like to add more, but we're not allowed.
Yeah, limited to 3.
So come on, Em. I want to see what yours are.
I've got 2 of the same.
Right.
As you.
Can I guess?
Certainly.
So squat's definitely in there. I know
100%.
you too well. Yeah. And
squat is king.
You're gonna go for. No, I can't guess the other one. Go on, tell me.
Pull-ups.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah, same as you.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
My third, sort of like a 2-in-1. So if I'm allowed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
See. Yeah.
So it'd be clean and press.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And that could be hand clean, so any sort of
any variation of it.
Clean. Dumbbells even a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of thinking of where I'm at with my clients at the moment.
Yes.
That sort of explosive movement, you get a bit of. I mean, most of them are going to be after their fat burn.
Yeah.
More calories burnt.
Yeah.
So that explosive movement, you get a heart rate up there a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then that press, then you get a press. So technically, I've got 4 sort of movement patterns.
Yeah, you have. You've
got
a hinge.
Yeah.
You've got a clean. You've got loading and bracing patterns.
Yeah.
You've got a pressing. And you've got, if you load that correctly and you change the style and the approach of that exercise, you've got some metabolic work. You cheater.
I just thought about it.
Why do we both go for a pull-up? Because we're men of a certain age. We could have easily gone for bench press, yeah?
Yeah, true. And I never used to be able to do chins, pull-ups until I just started doing them. I think the strength gains you get from it is incredible. The only way to get better at that movement, the pull-up, is just to do the pull-up.
You beat
do
me
more
to
of them.
And do you know what? I'm really glad you finished on that because I was going to add that in at the end.
Yeah.
I really wish we could get that message across to more people. I'm not very good at this. I don't think I should do it. No. That's why you should do it.
Yeah.
Like I've had people in here today telling me, I can't do that. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I've given it to you.
Yeah.
Let's go and do more of it so that you can do it.
Just because you can't do something doesn't mean that's why you don't do it.
Like providing we've come to a pretty solid rationale of why that movement, that pattern, that position, that action is important, then I think you should probably do more of it.
Yeah.
And Chris was great at this with me. I was like, Chris, I want to get better at my pull-ups when I was working at the gym.
Yeah.
I want to get better at my pull-ups. What should I do? He was like, do loads of them. I was like, what do you mean? He said, just split them up.
Yeah.
Do as many as you can. Stop.
Eccentrics, isos,
do a few
banders.
More. Yeah. And he said, when you get stalled at 3, 4, 5 reps, start messing around. I was like, this strength training stuff is really simple. It's really easy. Okay, cool. So we got squat, clean and press, hinge, and pull up. As a pair, they're the handful of exercises that we would give to everyone. And then chuck a bench in there just for fun.
Yeah.
You'll notice, people who are listening, neither of us picked bicep curl.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Andrew Joy.
Andrew Joy, yeah.
Called out.
Shot in the dark. Amazing. Catching strays. Love it.
Okay, segue then. What's the most common mistake you see in the gym?
People mistaking strength training for strength training. Thinking that picking up a medium weight and doing it till you're tired is going to make you strong. People thinking that strength training should feel lactic acid in your muscles or should feel that like fatigue. And yes, you will feel fatigued and it will make you tired, but it's a different tired. It's a heavy stress load on the system tired rather than I've done some reps, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Connected to that is people not wanting to push hard enough to really develop strength. Look, I get this phrase from Chris, dig in. Strength training is hard. It's meant to be hard.
Yeah. I think it's sort of the feeling between a 4 rep range, like 12, 15 rep range. Yeah. Different weights, granted.
Yeah.
But you get a different sort of feeling from that stimulus.
Yeah. And like
the muscles.
It's hard to describe to everybody. But if
you've got to experience it.
Yeah. If you've lifted something heavy and you've lifted something for a lot of reps, you know what we're talking about.
Your body knows about it.
You know the difference. You know that difference between struggling to contract the muscle and the muscle filling up with blood and like lactate. They're two different things. And I would really like people to if they want to get strong, understand what strength training is, and it's a handful of reps lifted really well with a good amount of load, a lot. What about you? Come on. What you see that bugs you
Oof.
from strength training? What do you think people get wrong? We sound like we're just having a go at everyone. We're not.
Yeah.
We're trying to guide people towards getting stronger.
I think the one biggest thing is just people sat on their phones between rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too much rest.
Too much
rest is important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Too much rest, you're just wasting your time.
Like from a physiological standpoint, you want the nervous system to still be hyped up from the last set.
Yeah.
You want the muscles to calm down and the nervous system to stay hyped.
Yeah.
If you rest too long, they both calm down. Nervous system takes a lot longer, but you still want to be revved up for your next set, but you don't want any fatigue in your muscles. And there's a lovely little sweet spot. And it's between that 2 to 5 minutes.
We're also sort of, we might be crossing pillars here, but a mindset aspect of that. You could be scrolling TikTok or Instagram, wherever. Your mind is elsewhere, and then you're about to go into a 1 rep max. Yeah. Dangerous.
Yeah, 100%.
Not in the zone.
I'm like, if you're lifting really heavy, you've got to be switched on, because the slightest tweak in technique, the slightest change of position, that can make it go wrong. That's why technique is also so important.
Okay, moving beyond the gym.
Yep.
Strength, day to day. What does being strong mean to you personally?
Functional.
So take the coaching hat off now.
Yeah, being able to do stuff, being able to complete tasks, being able to finish what you started.
Taking the dog for a walk.
100%. Well, I'm renovating the house, so being able to move a dryer.
Yeah, I've done that this summer.
Yeah, I've had to move my kitchen, the units, not that I didn't pick the whole kitchen up, the units one by one and put it in the garage, like by myself.
Yeah.
You know, or with my other half sometimes. But can I move my daughter's bed from one side of the room to the other without putting her back out?
I'm sure same as me, that saved you so much money.
Oh my God, saved me a fortune.
I mean, my dad's helped me.
Yeah.
I've got to give him some credit.
Like I've got insulation in my eyes and I can't see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Imagine you weren't doing this profession, you weren't as fit as you are, strong as you are, and you had to pay someone to do that. Just think of it, look at it that way.
Like paying someone for the ease of it, great. I get it. You can go to work, you can come home, it's done. Paying someone because you can't.
Yeah.
That for me is a massive like ego hit. And I know ego isn't everything, but like that confidence gets knocked then.
100%.
I physically
there
can't
should
do
be
this.
certain standards that
Yeah.
you should hold yourself to.
Like we should all be able to fulfill our daily tasks. That genuinely might just be work. Getting to work without being tired. Getting up the stairs without being tired. Being at your desk all day without being tired. That is something that we should all be able to do. Now, don't get me wrong, our strength won't benefit us in all areas of that. But there are times where if we had a bit more strength, certain tasks would be easier and we would have energy reserves for other things. How many times have you spent a couple of hours on your feet in work and you've come home and you can't play with the kids? Wouldn't it be easier if you were a bit stronger and a bit healthier and a bit fitter?
Yeah.
And you could come home and you could have a couple of hours with the kids, or you could have a couple of hours around the house, or you could go and knock a ball around with your mates afterwards. Part of that could be your strength. Could be a deficit you're carrying. Obviously, could be fitness, could be power, could be loads of things. But if we keep this to strength, being a bit stronger can help you.
Yeah, I think everybody's has got those little odd jobs around the house.
Yeah.
That need doing, they haven't done for months.
Yeah.
And missus is getting on them, nagging them to get it done. But they come home from work, they're tired.
Knackered. Yeah.
Now that a little bit extra just to get up and get that done.
How many times have you gone to put something up, got your arm above your head, you're trying to nail something in and it goes dead after 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's fatigued.
Or you're carrying a bag, single arm, home from the shop, that shoulder starts to go, you swap arms, and you're constantly swapping back and forth.
And like you look at, generations before us, they were hard, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they weren't as big as we are.
No. No. Look at the miners, a couple of years.
Yeah.
I say a couple of years, but 10s, 20s, 30 years ago.
They were tough, weren't they? Tough. And like, again, it doesn't necessarily be, lifting double body weight, or you don't have to be superhuman. But guaranteed your body would be more functional if it was able to produce more force in certain areas in certain ways. It's just a fact of life, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. How has strength training changed your mindset? Not just performance.
Really understanding the effort it takes to get strong, like really strong, not just stronger, but really strong, and the focus and the organization of not just my session, but my week, around getting really strong has really made me think about how stuff knocks on and affects other things. So, like, if I run one day, I can't then lift really heavy because my joints hurt.
Yeah.
I can't double load things up, and I can't do things in certain ways. And that's all come off the back of knowing that I've got to rest for 2 minutes and I've got to be strict with myself here and I've got to be able to do this. And then when it's game time, earbuds in, stop talking to the person next to you, and you've got to go. And I think strength training and adding an element of strength training has really helped me learn this capacity to dig in. It's like, I don't want to do this, but you're going to get up and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And you're going to go in there and you're going to pick those dumbbells up and you're going to give it a good crack. Might land on your face. Genuinely might. And I think it comes down to sometimes when you dig in, it's going to go wrong and you're going to fail. And you have to go, okay, that's fine. Put it back down, reset, have a break, go
Come
again.
back at it.
Yeah?
Definitely.
And I think it's a real lesson developer. It tells you who you are, strength training. Maybe getting a little bit philosophical here, but it can tell you a lot about yourself. If you can dig in for a strength session, it'll tell you a lot about yourself. I mean, doing a dirty circuit class will as well, but I think strength training is you and you, and a spotter, hopefully, if you're being safe.
Yeah.
What about you? Because you're coming at this from a different angle from me. You've had a couple of injuries that have required a bit more help than I've had. I've had a couple of knocks and stuff over the years playing football, but you've had a bit of a slightly different path to me when it comes to strength.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, again, as you said, planning in that strength session with your running, it's also planning in those sessions with day to day, and social calendar and work and whatever, and then I think strength training, looking to maximize benefits from that in order to fuel sort of every day, and your performance outside the gym. That makes sense.
And knowing that you are doing something, taking some time and focusing on something else, but it isn't detracting away from everything else. And it's there to support everything else. So strength training supports all performance on field. Strength training for Gen Pop supports everything we do outside. And it helps us to be better, more functional, healthier.
Yeah, not just from a physical standpoint, but also hormonal balance with strength training. Regulating that.
Nervous system. Skill learning. If you
cognitive function.
So there's a big impact on your brain, strength training, because the strength that we produce is controlled by our brain. So there's a large stress on that nervous system, not necessarily the brain, but a central nervous system to produce this force. And it's got to get better. So it gets better at the same time, and you're able to do things more effectively then. You're able to utilize that nervous system in different ways that you maybe weren't able to unlock before.
Look at it this way, because I love a metaphor.
Yeah.
You got your brain, and then your body and your muscles. Say you're weak, right? That is a Dacia Duster. Yeah. You get in the gym, get stronger, you upgrade in that car, and eventually you get a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Rally cars, they put better wiring looms in, don't they? They put better engines in, they put better wheels on. Exactly like you said, we've upgraded that car. And let's face it, if you're into cars, everyone would like to upgrade their car, wouldn't they?
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's the beauty of strength training, is instead of spending thousands of pounds on upgrades, you spend 40, 50 quid a month and you go to the gym a few times. And again, it's not rocket science. Lift up pretty heavy stuff, really damn well, fairly bloody often. It ain't hard. But, well, it's simple. It is hard. It's hard to do, but it's simple to achieve.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. Recapping then, because we're about hit 40 minutes.
Ooh, nice.
Key takeaway for me is strength is the foundation.
Yeah.
I think we've stressed that enough. Build it right, and everything else is going to improve.
Improve on top.
I think that's fair to say.
Do it really well and really focus on it. Make some time for it. If that's your primary goal, it's everything you should chase. It should fit in with your other goals, or at least support your other goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So if you listen to this, thank you, first of all. The feedback has been amazing from people. I'd like you to share which part resonated most with you. Let us know. And then next time, we're going to dive into pillar 2, which should be speed and power. And then how to actually turn that strength into athletic performance
Yeah.
or day-to-day performance.